Hello and welcome to Laurindalandia. Today I'm going to do a reading about the effect you have on people that they can't explain. You can choose your pile by following your intuition. It can be the pile that you are the most visually attracted to, or you can even ask in your mind, what is a pile for me? I do a personal readings, they are super affordable, and then my first link in the description. Hello, by one. So you choose this card that says your happiness only depends on you. The effects that you have on people is that you allow them to see that independence is not lonely, being alone is not lonely, and being alone also is not a bad thing. I think you really inspire people to spend quality time with themselves and to learn to be more independent. This can be emotionally or physically, also monetarily. I think you really empower people to stand on their own. You're the type of person that you come across someone, imagine that you come across someone that cannot be alone. For example, they are always in a relationship, they're always surrounded by people, like they cannot be alone because they always have to be with someone and sharing their life with someone, and they have not yet went through that journey of learning to be with themselves. And this is something that they might be really scared to do. And after they meet you, I think they get really inspired by your independence because you stand on your own 2 feet alone. Like you make your own money, you have your own place, you have your own job, you can support yourself emotionally, psychologically, because it's not only about the money. The money is an aspect of it. Like I think you inspire people to stand on their own monetarily, but that is just like a part of it. I think the biggest part of it is really emotionally and psychologically. I think you really inspire people. No, like I have to spend time with myself, I have to learn to be there for myself, I have to learn to be less codependent. That's the word. Yes, I think the effect you have on people is especially in codependent people that are emotionally codependent. And I think you really inspired them to do the uncomfortable thing of trying to be alone emotionally and psychologically. And I think in a lot of ways, imagine I'm getting this dynamic that I think you really have this a big effect on codependent people. And I think codependent people, when they meet you first, they try to be codependent on you, and you set boundaries. You're like, hey, we can be friends, but I'm only here until a certain extent, or I can only do this and that for you to a certain extent. You cannot like rely on me like 150%. This needs to be a balance. You can rely on me a little bit, but also you need to rely on yourself. And I think it's this push and pull. Like the codependent people want to like surround you all the times and be with you all the time, and you set those boundaries. And I think imagine for these codependent people, it hurts, but they realize is a necessary pain. It is uncomfortable to them, it's not necessary that they like it, but they learn later to appreciate you and to be grateful for you for setting those boundaries, for not letting them just be codependent on you fully. And I think later they appreciate that about you. It's like an uncomfortable pain, an uncomfortable growing pain that they have to do that is going to make their life better, that is going to improve their quality of life, their relationship with themselves. Only positive is to come from this, right? But it's uncomfortable to them at first. So you might find a lot of people trying to like be with you all the time, or like you feel like you're almost being suffocated, because you might find a lot of codependent people. Like you might actually, some of you, not all, by one, some of you might be avoidance, some of you, because I actually feel like the energy of pile one is like some of you have a very healthy relationship with people. I think a lot of you here, the majority, have a very balanced and healthy relationship and dynamic with other people, where you can rely on them but still be independent. Some of you, a minority, might be avoidant. Especially when you are avoidant, I think you attract a lot of anxious attachments. So you attract a lot of people that can be codependent. So there is this very push and pull dynamic that codependent people feel very drawn to you, very attracted to you, because again, you're not giving them everything. And I think that way you teach them to like rely on their own. This is a way that you teach them how to stand on their own 2 feet. Another way that you teach them and inspire them to stand on your own 2 feet is by your own life. Like your life, an example. I think people see you as a very successful person that got their shit together. Like you have your ducks in a row. Everything that you have is yours and all yours only. You build your career, you build your job, you worked hard for where you are in life. Nothing was given to you, everything came from you, right? And this, I think, something there was something for you, pile one, that in the past it might be hard because you felt like, why this life needed to be this hard? Why do I have to fight so hard for everything? Why? And you might even felt that it was unfair how hard life was to you. That I'm not denying it. Probably it was very cruel and unfair. But in the other side of the coin, I think you created this very strong, independent person that you are, Paiwan. I think the fact that nothing was given to you, that you had to work hard for everything that you have, was unfair, unjust, and cruel, but you really built a lot of strong foundations within you, because what you have now, it was you and you only, literally, because nobody gave you nothing. Probably a lot of people didn't believe you. Probably a lot of people, what they gave you was like pushback and obstacles and difficult situations, and you persevered, you continue, and you conquered alone when nobody believed you, when nobody was there by your side. And I think this is really inspirational for a lot of people, is the fact that everything that you have in life right now and people see you as very successful is you and you only. You didn't came from money, your parents didn't have connections, you are not privileged in society. Some of you in this pile might even be minorities, where like your day to day is even harder than most people due to all the prejudice around it. It might, for some of you, trigger warning, it might be hard to even find a job because of maybe like discrimination or prejudice, and you felt like you had to fight harder than everyone around you just like to be able to survive. But it's really empowering. I think people see your life story as extremely empowering, and it gives them the strength for them to try to do the difficult thing and do things alone. You feel me? Like build things alone, get a career alone by their own hard work, merit, like be emotionally independent where they don't need other people to make them feel good. They can make themselves feel good and learn how to be there for themselves. So you're a very inspirational figure. There is also a message here about Venice. I don't know, this might resonate someone. Maybe you inspire someone to go to Venice, like can be like a long trip. And this might be in a trip that for that person was very life changing, and they think of you a lot of times. Like I'm getting here a very specific scenario for a very specific person here, that you inspire someone to do a solo trip to Venice, and that person did that solo trip to Venice and it changed their life. Like this might be a person that you are no longer in contact with, and that person thinks of you a lot and is very grateful for you. They are like, wow, if it wasn't for that person, I'll never went to the Venice trip, and if I didn't went to the Venice trip, this and this didn't happen. Like, yeah, you are a big source of inspiration to many people. There's also something about Egypt for other people, like there might be something related with Egypt. um the effect that you have on people, well, number one, yes, the effect that you have on people is also that, imagine you make them dream bigger. you expand their horizons. This can be due to your personality or your life story. I think you inspire people to dream a little bit bigger, like envision more possibilities than they envisioned before. For example, people before you, they envision a life of, okay, a 9 to 5 that is not like their dream career, but it's sufficient, it pays the bills, right? It's stable. They envision their life as a 9 to 5 that they don't quite particularly like, but it's stable, is not the worst. It pays the bills, right? A partner that, again, they're not hoping for like being madly in love. A partner that is stable, that they can have a family and kids with, and that's how people envision their life before they meet you, right? And after they meet you, I think they get very inspired to think outside the box and think like, maybe I can have my dream job. Maybe I can have my dream partner. Maybe I can go on that dream trip that I always wanted to go, but I never allowed myself to. I think you really inspire people to go after what they want. But imagine you are a very grounded person, very like, you are not reckless at all. I think you inspire people to dream bigger in a very secure, stable, not delusional way. Some of you in this pile can be earth signs. I'm getting like Capricorn a lot, or Virgo. Not as much Taurus, but it can be. But I'm getting a lot of Capricorn and Virgo, and I'm getting this energy of dreaming big, but being very realistic about it, like seeing what you want to do. Okay, I want to start, like, I'm hearing my jewelry company, I want to start making jewelry, or I want to start this project, or I want to start my dream career. What can I do realistically, practically, to make that happen? So you have this beautiful balance of inspiring people where you push them to dream big, but still in a very grounded, realistic way. This is not delusional at all. Because I think your life story is also not delusional at all. I think you achieved a lot through honest hard work. There is no delusion here. There is no like craziness here, and you really show that. You really show, hey, the life that I have today, I built it. Like, I worked hard for it. I dedicated my time and energy to make this happen, and that's what is so inspirational about it. Because imagine, I think you inspire people to dream so big, and you are the one that makes them even dare to envision something bigger for themselves due to your very practical stance. Because maybe these people before, even if they were like a motivational speaker or someone talking about chasing their dreams, they will like not listen to them, and like don't pay that much attention to it. But because you are so grounded in your approach, like you are so practical about it, I think you really inspire people that way. Because not only you are pushing them to dream bigger, you are also telling them the path to it. And in a lot of ways, the fact that you have on people as well is that, yeah, it's like stand on it. It's very like stand on it alone. You can do this. I think you also inspire people to not change themselves for the world. Like, I think you inspire people in the sense, imagine that somebody is coming to you with like a dream. Imagine someone is coming to you being like, yeah, like I want this house, I want this trip, but like it's a bit crazy, like I don't know if I should want this even. And I think you really like inspire them by saying, no, you want what you want and you deserve what you want, don't settle for less. What do you mean? I think people before you um had a tendency to change themselves to fit into the box or fit into society, because it was easy to settle than to like stand on their desires and say, no, this is what I want, and I'm not settling and I'm not conforming. And I think this can even be in terms of like relationships, like this can be the type of people that come to you and they are like, yeah, like I want a relationship, but I have high standards and nobody's meeting my standards. I think I should lower my standards because my standards might be a bit unrealistic. And you are like, no, do not lower your standards. Your standards are not unrealistic. You have just not find a person that's okay. You basically explain to them that actually your standards protect you and is a sort of boundaries. That's why they are there. Like your standards are there to protect you from wasting your time and energy. And this is like a numbers game, right? You fail, you fail, you fail until you conquer, until you win. And I think you really inspired people to not settle, not only in love, but in life. Do not settle just because it's hard or people are telling you that's impossible or or people are saying that you can do this, you can do that. Stick to it. If you want something, if you desire something, stick to it. Be stubborn um, about it. And I think in a lot of ways, this is a big way that you inspire people, is inspiring them to, yes, stick to it, to stick to themselves, to not bow down, to not submit, to not change, to not fit the mold, to not fit the box. I think you send a lot of people to like this self-love journey. I think you send a lot of people unintentionally to like a journey of discovering themselves, spending more time alone, in reflection, maybe even journaling, meditation, and really like rediscovering themselves and discovering who they really are and what they truly desire. And also imagine, I think the effect you have on people is also is that you stop them in their tracks. Before they had a plan, they had a 9 to 5 that they didn't quite like, but it was stable. They had a partner that they were not madly in love, but it was stable. They were like on the plan that they always had because that's the plan that seemed the more realistic or capable of coming true, right? And I think you inspire them to the point that they stop in their tracks. Like you stop people in their tracks and they stop doing everything they were doing. They might even like stop like going to work or even quit or maybe break up with their partners. Like they stop everything. They do a stop, like I'm not continue going to this job, I'm not going to continue to be in this relationship. They stop everything to spend time by themselves and discovering themselves. So if you notice people around you, yeah, quitting their jobs or breaking up with their partner, it's because of you, because you really inspire them. Overall, I think the big effect that you have on people is that you push them to listen to themselves, to listen to their inner voice, to trust their guidance, their desires, their needs, their wants. And I think you really push people inwards, which I think is very beautiful. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with this message. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you like this content, subscribe. I do a personal readings, they are super affordable, and then my first link in the description. My pile 1. Hello, pile 2. So I chose this card that says, inspire the world around you. The effect that you have on people is that you are a very inspirational figure that gives a lot of like passion and inspiration to people. I think you give to people like eureka moments. I think you make them realize stuff. They feel very inspired by you. They feel very artistic by being around you. Like there is this big flow of ideas and a lot of artistic energy and creative energy. This can be something related with like music or dancing. I think you are someone that is very like inspirational and you have like a lot of passion within you and a lot of fire and a lot of creativity. And I think people just being around you and talking with you, they'll get like surges of inspiration. They get these brand new ideas and this brand new like creativity and this brand new thing that they want to do. I think you're also someone that is very connected with their inner child in the sense that you have that energy of a kid full of energy and curiosity and excitement. You still have that. You still have that curiosity, that energy, and that excitement for life where things are not mundane to you. Like there is this vibe to you that people feel they know you're not experiencing the world for the first time, but you look like someone that is experiencing the world for the first time, like a kid being super excited about the majority of things because it's like the novelty of it, right? It's the first time that they're experiencing it. So they're like, oh my God, a park, so cool. Oh my God, a forest, so cool. Oh my God, a swing, so cool. Ball, like simple things like when we were kids, brought a lot of excitement and joy because it was a thing of newness and novelty, right? You still have that. You have not lost that. Even though you have life experience, it's not the first time doing something, you have not lost that spark, that excitement, that joy. I think you also are someone that really values the little things in life. You might be a romantic at heart. This can be like, I'm not saying romantic in necessarily relationship sense, but more like romanticizing life, romanticizing the details of life. I'm getting a lot of Disney movies. I'm getting The Beauty and the Beast. I'm seeing a lot of like roses and like cartoon roses and a lot of fairies and sparkle like in cartoons, like in Disney, you feel me? Like in princess movies, I'm getting that imagery of beauty and magic. And I think this is the energy that you bring. I think is very inner child, is very curious, is very energetic, excited. Even though it's not the first time that you are experiencing things, you did not lost your excitement for experiencing the world, even though it's not your first time doing it. There is also something about you that you bring people together. Like, for example, I'm getting the scenario on a friend group. You are the one that builds the friend group. Even if you leave, they're gonna still be friends. But they were not friends before you came in, or you strengthen the friend group. I think there is something about you, and I think it comes back to this inner child. You know, when you were a kid, I'm seeing the TikToks that I see on TikTok, like on my For You. There is like adults mimicking kids, like in the pool, coming to another kid and be like, "Do you want to play mermaids with me?" You know, when you were a kid, you just approach a random kid and be like, "Do you want to play with me?" And that's how you bonded and made like a friendship, right? And you have the same effect, kind of. Like, I think you're also someone. You might be socially anxious, but you don't look socially anxious. I think you might not see this, but you are super likable, super approachable. Like you can go up to anybody and strike up a conversation and they're gonna like you. Like for you it's super easy to build relationships. You might not feel that way, but like people feel very connected with you, and for you it's super easy to just come up to somebody and they're gonna like you and you're gonna like bring them to your group of friends or to the people that you know, and now they all know each other and now they from the like a group of friends. And also you have this vibe that because you bring a lot of this inner child and this simple excitement that is so fun to be around you. It's so like energizing to be around you, right? Because people feel like they are kids again with you because you have that childlike perspective about the world, right? Not in terms of immaturity, but actually in terms of maturity, right? And like imagine in a friend group, the people of that friend group hold forever like core memories because of you, because you brought a lot of, like I'm hearing dynamicism, like a lot of dynamics to the group. You brought a lot of excitement, you brought a lot of play, a lot of creativity, a lot of fun, and like simple fun, like fun where you're just following like what you want to do without judgment, like simple fun of being a kid, you feel me? There might be something that you like to play games, some of you, and people like the times that they spend with you, the experiences that they have with you, it's core memories. It's something that you cannot forget because it's beautiful and it's impactful and it stays forever with them. So you might like Pauto, you might have a lot here that you literally build friend groups without you realizing. You leave those friends groups because I think you also someone that seeks a lot of novelty. I think you are also someone that's yeah needs newness, needs something to be excited about. I'm hearing you are addicted to the frail. I think you like newness. I think you like to get out of your comfort zone. I think you like to like try some new things. But like even after you leave a friend group, that friend group sticks together, and it's because of you. It's because of those moments that they share with you, and those like bonds that they created, and those core memories of so much joy, excitement that they had when you were there. Yeah, there is a lot of like deepness and like it's like it's like this deep connection, but still very kid-like, very inner child. Like I mean, when you inspire generations, I think you have a big effect on people. I think you change people forever, and you don't even realize it. And also, people, I think, imagine. I think people know you are an important person in their lives, but they cannot understand or grasp fully how much you change them. Yeah, it's very beautiful, very innocent, very inner child. I also think you bring people together through creativity. I think, imagine, you give a lot of inspiration to people due to being in this stage of a kid full of curiosity and newness and novelty and no judgment, expansion, because you bring that dynamic and because you bring that perspective to people. I think you give people a lot of space to explore their ideas, so they get a lot of ideas. And basically, they build networks, they connect with other people to bring those ideas together. Yeah, so you are networkers. Some of you in this pile might be an Aquarius. Like you I'm getting like you are the one that is connected to everyone. Like you have such a big butterfly effect on people's life because you connect them all. They are all connected because of you. And yeah, you have a big impact on people's life. Also, I don't know what I got. I think your hairstyles are very inspirational and people after meeting you, they probably want to mimic your hairstyle and you really inspire them in terms of like the way that you do your hair or your makeup or the way that you put on accessories. This can also be fashion. Yeah, you are very inspirational, very creative. You bring people together, people love you, you are very likable. Some of you might even be Libras here. Air sign. I'm getting a lot of air sign, even ADHD, a lot of like new ideas, excitement for new ideas, like a lot of yeah, jumping around, ping pong ball, because like this excites you, that excites you. The effect that you have on people, tell number two. Well, yes. I think another effect that you have on people is you inspire them to care less about money and care more about creativity, enjoyment. I think you are someone that cares about money, but I don't think you are a greedy person at all. I think you understand that, of course, we need money. You have to have a healthy relationship with money. But I think a big part of having a healthy relationship with money is not making money like your center point of life. I think actually what you make your center point of life is your inner child, is this inner child way of looking at life, this passion, this excitement, this seeing the world through new eyes, right? And I think you really inspired people to maybe instead of spending their whole time thinking about money or spending their whole life like working so hard, not having time for themselves, like being so focused on money and status and patriarchy and hierarchy and capitalism. I think you give them a break in a lot of ways and be like, hey, I can also have fun. Yeah, I think you bring fun to people, like especially the ones that are overworked, super stressed out, only think about money, dedicate their whole energy like 24/7 to money, to making money, to go up in their career, to climb the social ladder, to like. Also, there is something about status here. I think, imagine you inspire people, and these type of people are the type of people that rely a lot on status to for their self-worth. Like these type of people are the ones that, for example, let's imagine they are an engineer and they have the engineer title, and that's something that they rely on a lot as a sense of identity and worth. For example, when they talk to people, they're like, what they ask them, hey, you like, what do you do? And they're like, I'm an engineer, you feel me? And being an engineer, like being their job title, is who they are, like as a whole person, and they don't allow themselves to explore who they are, and basically their identity is completely their job title. And I think you bring a lot of inspiration to those people to not everything has to be with their job, not everything has to revolve around work or a title or job title or status. They are more than capitalism, right? They are more than the job title. They are more than their function. And I think you really open people's eyes to that, and it really connect them with their inner child, because you are very connected with your inner child. Effective on people, pile number 2. You make people like do things they never done before. You make people take the leap of faith, do what they want to do, but they never like have the courage to do it. Of course. And we have here the sun, the literal inner child card. This is beautiful, because everything that I was talking about, that I'm now realizing, and I'm seeing the sun in a such deeper way because of this reading. I haven't like seen this side of this card that is the sun, because the sun is literally the inner child, like seeing the world as a kid, a world of newness, full of excitement, imagination, novelty, curiosity, and that being such a source of happiness, just being alive and experiencing the world. This is the sun. The sun encompasses all of that, which, like, again, I never saw the sun this way, okay? I understood that the sun was happiness, but I'm now seeing the whole inner child aspect of it, right? That is literally the sun represents us as kids. Seeing a ball, playing with a ball, and be like, wow, or going to a forest and be like, oh my god, trees, or seeing a leaf on the ground and be like, oh my god, a leaf, oh my god, this is so beautiful, this is really beautiful. Yeah, the effect you have on people is that I think you're also a very honest person. You're not mean, because there are a lot of people that disguise honesty, that disguise rudeness as honesty. No, there is a line, and being honest is not being rude. Being rude is being rude, and being rude is not being honest, you know? You're not, no. Like, I think you are honest in the sense that you are honest with yourself, and you are honest with what you want and who you are and what you desire. And I think you inspire people to be honest with themselves. I don't imagine. You might tell people about themselves, but I don't think a lot. And even when you tell people about themselves, it comes from a very pure, kind hearted place of like showing them what you see. But I think what inspires them the most is the fact that you are super honest about who you are. You might have, again, that honesty of a kid that's is super honest, like he says what comes to their mind, because they have not been shaped by society yet. They don't understand what is right or wrong, or what is moral, immoral, what is appropriate or inappropriate to say. You might even have that you are super honest to a point that for some people is like even socially uncomfortable. They are like, oh my god, are you saying the truth? Oh my god, like socially that looks bad, you know? Again, very inner child. And I think your honesty is very inspiring. And I think The fact that you are so open and honest about who you are, what you want, what you desire, what you are thinking, in a very human, relatable way. I think you inspire people to be honest with themselves. I think you make people look in the mirror and think, what do I really want? What are the stories that I've been telling people? But like, what is that I really desire? Who I really am when nobody is looking, right? Yeah, is this very beautiful honesty of self-realization, of realizing who you are and not lying to yourself. You feel me? In the sense that if you desire something, you desire it, and that's okay. If you want to do something, you want to do it, and that's okay. That might not be seen as a society like as a good thing, but it's a human thing. I'm getting, yeah, a lot of things relating with like societally standards. Like imagine that you meet someone that they are creative at heart, but they have lied to themselves and said, no, I actually like my accounting job. You know, that's the type of honesty. Like people are looking in the mirror and saying, no, I don't like my accounting job. I wish I could make art my living. I wish I could be a painter full time. And they finally admit to themselves that truth. And this can also be in terms of like their like desires. This can be in a very, also, how do I say this? Uh, their desires for intimate relationships, I guess. I think you really also are super like honest about that, and you empower people to also be honest about that. Like, I want this type of person, or I want this gender, or I want to have this type of dynamic and relationship. And you really make people like be honest with themselves and what they want out of life and how they want to live their life. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this reading. If you like the reading, give it a like. And if you like this content, subscribe. I do have personal readings. They are super affordable and they have my first link in the description. Buy both them. Hello, pile free. So it shows this card that says, do it with passion. The effect that you have on people is to fight for what they believe, fight for what they want, fight for who they are. If I'm hearing fight against the system, I think you really inspire people to fight for their belief systems, to fight for what is right. Some of you might even be activists on this group. And even if you're not activists, like I'm getting the idea of just being different, just like not conforming to the status quo is a political act on them on itself. Like I heard once someone say, just being born a woman is a political act, even if we choose to or not. Like just maybe like being a minority is unfortunately a political act. Like I'm getting here the idea that you inspire people to stand on who they are, to stand on what they believe in, to stand for their passions, even if that's not the quote unquote normal or on the status quo, but it's like it's worth the fight. It is worth to fight for who they are. You might be a person here that is unique or doesn't conform to the status quo, and your existence, the way that you live life, is like a statement in of itself, even if you don't want to. Maybe you probably just want to live your life at peace, but you feel like you don't have an option because who you are at your core and what you stand for is very, it ruffles feathers. It's unfortunately political without you wanting it. Because imagine, I'm looking at this helicopter and I don't know, right now, this helicopter bird is giving me military, is giving me a system like patriarchy, like a government, you feel me? Like, is giving me, yeah, like for me, this helicopter right now is symbolizing like society and government and laws and status quo and normalcy, and you are this person that is like, you are not letting go. you are not letting go of yourself, no matter how hard that is. You're not letting go of who you are, no matter how unaccepted it is in society. I'm also getting an example here. Some of you, not all, might um, not be monogamous. Monogamous, for example, might be polyamorous or have open relationships. And I'm getting a bunch of names that I heard of them, but I don't know what they mean, so I'm not gonna say them. I don't know fully what they mean. Um, and this is like something that might be unconventional uh, i- with the people that surround you, and probably you have a lot of pushback, and people judge you, and people want you to change, and you stand firm on who you are. You're not trying to fight people, but you are fighting for yourself. It's not necessarily that you are fighting other people to make them believe what you believe, is not that, but because people are fighting you, like you're just trying to exist in your space, do you like doing you, minding your own business, living your life as you are, and you feel like people have such a big problem with you just existing that you have to fight to keep being who you are. You feel me? You don't want to fight, but you feel like you have to because people leave you with no option, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not trying to convince people to think like you or be like you. You're just trying to convince people to leave you alone, honestly. Like, respect your boundaries, respect your space, respect your freedom. Even if it doesn't look like everyone else, like, respect your life. You feel me? So I think a lot of people see you as very strong because a lot of people are different. We are all different, but we all conform to society due to a lot of social pressure, shame, guilt, and also like the government laws, things that we have to follow. You feel me? Because every society is different, every government is different with different laws. Something is legal here in a country, another thing is illegal there in another country. That might like for other people be seen as very like fundamental rights, right? So like I think people find you very strong for being yourself, keep fighting for yourself, keep fighting for what you believe, even though it's not easy. It's tiring. You didn't choose this life. You don't want any of this fight, but you are not changing or conforming to other people just to make it easier. And this is very inspirational. I think people really admire your strength and you give them a little bit more strength. You feel me? Like, I think you inspire people to be stronger in who they are and be like, no, I believe this. If and I'm not going to change just because I am in a room where people don't believe the same things I believe. I believe that human rights are all rights. I believe in equality. I believe, in all these things that for you and for many people seem like basic human things that we should all respect and follow. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't. And that a lot of societies don't follow and don't agree with. But I think you inspire people to stand in their belief systems and to not conform, not change, due due to all the social pressure that they face. So I think you give a lot of people a lot of strength and a lot of like standing in their belief systems. If they believe in equality, they're going to stand for that, even if they are in a room with people that don't believe in equality. If they believe in like I don't know the words that I can say on YouTube. That's the thing. I'm getting so many ideas, but I need to say them in like a different way because of YouTube. Imagine that people believe, yeah, in human rights. You feel me? In love, everyone should be able to love who they want, and even if they are in a room with people that disagree with them, that say that you can only be with a certain gender, or you can only do this or do that, and like you inspire people to stand in their beliefs and to be like, no, I'm not going to change, I'm not going to change my mind because I'm having like so many people screaming at me saying that I'm wrong and trying to change my mind and all of that, I'm gonna stand firm in what I believe, no matter your guys' opinion and no matter how bad you make me feel about having like empathy and compassion for human beings, you feel me? Yeah, you are very inspirational. Also, there's something about you that is going against the system. You're not doing it on purpose, but just you being authentic and standing in who you are goes against the system, goes against the patriarchy, goes against the status quo. And the fact that you have not conformed, not changed to make your life easier, because again, imagine, because even if you changed, right, to conform to people, so people like stopped giving you a hard time by just existing, you still will get people that judge you, and then you're going to be unhappy with who you are and in your skin because you're living a lie, right? So I think you understood that there is no good way to do this. There is no easy pathway. Might as well be me, continue to be me. Yes, people judge me a lot. Yes, people are going to try to change me, put a lot of social pressure. There's going to be a lot of BS that I have to deal with. But that's like the better outcome than to change myself, still have people to judge me, and living a lie, and living a life that is not me. And imagine, some of you here, this can be also the fact that you are super artistic and maybe like your fashion, the way that you present yourself is super unique and artistic and super like different from like the people around you. And this in of itself is a statement. This in of itself is saying, I'm not conforming, I'm not going to dress like everyone is dressing, I'm not going to look like everyone is like looks like, because I'm not happy doing it. And you inspire other people to stand in themselves, to stand in their creativity, to stand in who they are, because at the end of the day, it's who you are. And that, yeah, you really inspire people to stand in their authenticity and to fight for their authenticity, to not to not back down, even if there is a lot of like social pressure around them. The effect that you have on people, number 3. Imagine, I think you also, again, it comes back to the dynamic that I was talking about before, is that you are not trying to fight people. You're just trying to live your life. Okay? Um, but because so many people have issues with the way that you live your life, you feel like you have to fight just to exist. And I think also what you teach people is that a way to be yourself and to be authentic and to be able to do this in a society that does not accept you and does not want that is to leave rooms where you're not accepted. Don't argue with them. Fight for who you are by disengaging from people that are always trying to change you. I think you really inspire people to, if they don't accept you, if every time that you are with this person, they're criticizing you, judging you, giving you dirty looks, they're always saying how you are wrong, leave them, no matter who they are. I think you even inspire people to go no contact with their families. These might have been people that grew up in a conservative families. You might have been one person that grew up in a conservative family that wanted you to be a very specific person that at the end of the day you are not, because you're not a robot, you're not a doll, you are not an object, you are a person with individualism and creativity and self-expression, right? And some of you might even had to cut off your family because your family did not accept you for who you are. And that was a very hard decision, but you learned that is the price that you have to pay for, unfortunately, authenticity and self expression. And it's not a decision that you wanted to make, but it's a decision that you have to make, because you cannot keep fighting with them. You cannot keep arguing by like just existing, because they are arguing with your existence, you know? And I think you really inspire people in this way of, if people are arguing with you for just existing, these are not for you. Leave. It's cruel, it's hard, it's unfair. I think you teach people that you cannot change people's minds. You cannot change people's perspective. You cannot change people's idea. Don't waste your energy. Because this is like fighting for equality in a room full of bigots. You feel me? Like this is like fighting for like human empathy and compassion in a room full of people that will never have the same perspective as you. Is not worth it. Walk away. And I think, yeah, you really inspire a lot of people to walk away from people that are just unfair and unjust. And you're not going to ever convince them otherwise. You're not going to ever change them because that's who they are. I think you also inspire people to, if they see a red flag, walk away. Imagine, I think you also teach people that people are who they are and they are not going to change for the people around them, in the sense that you know that saying that you know who your friend is by the way that they talk about their friends. For example, if you have a friend that talks BS about another friend, they are going to talk the same BS about you, because the issue is not you or their other friends, the issue is them. This is how they view the world. So I think you also teach people to, if a person, imagine, if a person is someone that has prejudice against certain minorities, just because you are white does not mean you are exempt from the cruelty that this person shows to those minorities. Like that person is going to show you the same cruelty to you as they did to whatever marginalized or minority group, because this is who they are. They are this person. He has nothing to do with the other people. He has everything to do with this person. So I think you really open people's eyes to understand that if this person, if they show you who they are, believe them. If this person is a bad person, to whatever people, no matter the excuses, no matter because of this cultural background, no matter because of what they look like, no matter all the excuses that they come up with, they are doing bad acts because they are a bad person, point and period. And they're going to do to anyone in their lives. It's not about like cultural background, ethnicity, gender. It's not about that. It's about the person itself that is simply a bad person. And I think you really open people's minds that just because it's not happening to you directly now, and because that person is being a bad person to a certain group of people, it does not mean that it will not happen to you. It will happen to you because it has nothing to do with the other people. If a person is a bad person, they are simply a bad person. It's who they are at their core. You can't change them. You can't argue with them. Walk away. So yeah, I think you inspire a lot of people to maybe break contact with, break no, like go no contact with their family members that have like awful views and belief systems about people in general. I think you also inspire people to like let go of friend groups that held, held belief systems that are hurtful, even though it's not directly hurtful towards them yet, it will be in the future. If a bad person can do something bad to a minority group, they will do the same thing to you. No one, no one is different. You feel me? You might be in a position of privilege, but it will come back after you. You know what I mean? And I think you show them this. I think you know what I mean because this is what you show people. Yes, but you really open that aspect. You make people really understand that bad people are simply bad people, and it is what it is. They won't change, no matter how much you argue with them, no matter how logical or eloquent you are. They will not change the way that they are because this is just who they are. It's better to walk away. So this is really how I'm interpreting the justice in reverse and the eight of cups. Like if you see someone being unjust, walk away, even if that is not an injustice towards you, even if the injustice that is being done is not towards you, just walk away because you are not exempt from it. Just being around this person makes you a target. What's the effect that you have on people by number 3? Very interesting, very interesting. Imagine. I think you also make people stop and think about their lives. Maybe like these are people that are always in rush, going day by day, like in autopilot. They are in the same group of friends, like talking about the same things. Like I think you inspire people that are almost in autopilot, almost like numb to themselves and their feelings and who they are. They are living life in conformity, just like in numbness, like a robot going day by day. And I think you inspire them to stop everything and think, stop everything and think about themselves, who they are, how they feel, what they've been doing, what's the goal, where do they really want to be, what they are doing now and why they are doing it, why do I have this group of friends, I think you really make them like alt everything and you make them think. Coming back to the example of going no contact with their family, imagine that you meet someone that has a relationship with their family because it is their family, it's what they're born with, they're not necessarily happy, they are not necessarily healthy to them, but they are an adult now and they have a relationship with their family because they always had a relationship with their family. And even though it's bad for their mental health, every time that they are with their family is a bad situation, they always argue, it's always like bad, they keep doing it because it's what they are always done, right? And they don't even like understand that they can stop and change. And I think you really make people that awakening of stop, think about truly like life. Like I think people before you are were very in autopilot, automatic, just going day by day, numb, maybe numbing themselves with alcohol or partying or like some sort of like vice or addiction, right? And I think you really make people stop, sober up. These cannot doesn't necessarily need to be like literally sobering up, but like coming back to their bodies and be like, how do I feel? Do I feel good being around these people? Do I want to be around these people? Do I feel good in this job? Do I want to really go up the corporate ladder? Is this really what I want? You might even like bring awakenings to people of like they are in a relationship for years and years, right? And they are like in autopilot, automatic, going day by day just because it is what they have always done, right? You might even like make them stop and think, is this the relationship that I want? Am I happy in my relationship? Do I love this person? Like, you make people stop, sober up in the terms of you make people come back to their body, think about what they really want out of life and how they really feel about their life and their circumstances and their environment, and redefine and rethink what they want for their future. I think they completely change people's plans for the future. Before you, they had a plan for the future of doing the same thing over and over again in autopilot. After you, they stop everything, they take time for themselves, they think about things and how they feel and what they want, and they change their future because of you. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this message. If you like this reading, give it a like, and if you like this content, subscribe. I do have personal readings, they are super affordable, and I have my first link in the description. Bye bye, free.